this is a horror film that needs to be on your radar. It is out today on digital. Is it out on DVD?
It's in theaters and in digital.
It's in theaters, on demand, on digital. It's here today. I'm very excited to introduce the director of Slashback. Please tell me how to correctly pronounce your name.
Innuksuk.
Nyla Innuksuk, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. I'm going to feature you full screen here. Innuksuk, I love it. Nyla, this movie is incredibly original. It's a movie that's a familiar genre. You've got like people fighting back against aliens. I should say more specifically, young girls fighting back against aliens. Very unique. We've seen it before, but a story not told this way. Tell us about Slashback.
Yeah, it's this weird little horror coming of age action adventure movie about a group of teenage girls from this really remote Arctic community as they take on an alien invasion.
And the aliens, you just get, I do recommend check out the trailer. The trailer is in the link in the description for this video. And it is, I like that you showed just enough. Just enough. What went into the design of the aliens? Did you use a mix of practical effects and CGI? How did you achieve the look of the aliens?
Yeah, figuring out how to portray the aliens was this really kind of fun puzzle that I figured out with, I mean, making movies is so collaborative. So it's like along the way, it was different conversations and figuring it out. I myself love practical effects. And this movie obviously kind of gave a little bit of a nod in some ways to the movie The Thing. And I love the practical effects in classic horror movies like that. And so, but at first, trying to figure out what the creatures what form they would take, my co-writer and I, Ryan Cavan, spent a lot of time just like figuring out how to make these creatures cool and how they would be, and we kind of landed on these creatures that take over the form of that are made out of tentacles, and they take over the bodies of animals and wear their skins as disguises. And so then once we figured that out, then we had to figure out how we show that visually and how the creatures would move. And there was this amazing contortionist that I got to work with, Troy James, who can do the craziest things with his body. So we got to work with these skin suits. We had actors that get turned into aliens, these suits made of their skins that are contortionist, and then also a stunt double, a Filio, would just wear. They would like put them over their head, and then they'd have gloves and stuff as well. That would be to kind of like give them the skin suit. And then Troy could do the craziest things with his body. So he could like bend over backwards, and he's double jointed and everything. So that was really fun. And then we kind of matched those kinds of movements with CG creatures, and we had this big polar bear suit made for Troy that could only work with him wearing it. He's like upside down and backwards walking like this. It's uncomfortable for anyone. I think it's actually it doesn't feel that weird for him, but wearing the suit was uncomfortable for sure. And running down a hill in that suit for over the course of a day was probably torture. And I thought that it looked really, really cool, but it also looked so weird. And so we ended up just kind of matching it with CG and really kind of using that as inspiration for the CG version of the bear.
We've got like 300 people watching us live right now, and we have questions from our audience. You mind taking some questions?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. I know we've got another filmmaker coming out at the top of the hour, so we're limited on time, but really good. X McDouchey McDouche X says, "Into it, people battling aliens. Consider me sold." So, Dude B asks, first question for Nyla: what is the orange bee thing in the picture? Has to be asked.
Oh, yeah, thanks. This is an artist, Nyla Innuksuk. She's from the community of Cape Dorset. And Inuit kind of notoriously, amongst us anyway, we hate bugs and stuff like that. I love that Nyla uses, is inspired by these kind of creepy, crawly creatures I've also got one of her, it's like this housefly, but like huge and graphic. And it was like one of the, once I made Slashback, it was one of the, I kind of always been thinking, oh, one day I'll be able to buy a piece of Sami's artwork. And so some people think they're crazy, but I love them. So thank you.
The film philosopher asked, Nyla, where was this filmed?
Oh, thank you so much for asking. This is filmed in the community of Pang, and this which is this really kind of remote community way up in the Arctic, and we filmed it in the summertime when there's 24-hour sunlight. I myself am from this also a very similar community, these of about 1,500 people. My home community is so beautiful also, but it's very flat, and it's essentially an island. Pang is nestled in the middle of these crazy mountains, these gigantic fjords carved by glaciers. So it just looks unlike anywhere else in the Arctic. And I made a documentary there when I was in my early 20s and kind of fell in love with this place. And my nephews, who are 5 and 7, are from Pang, and they love aliens and all that stuff. So
cool. Greasy Vop asks, any movies used as inspiration?
Yeah, lots. I kind of got into making movies as a nerd and a fan of movies. So definitely Spielberg, Goonies, E.T., Indiana Jones. But then also I love horror. Horror is kind of like my love of how I kind of got into movies, is this love of horror movies. And so different kinds of like Ed Gein, who of course inspired Leatherface and also Psycho. There's different kinds of, I love the Scream movies. There's a little kind of Sidney Prescott move up the stairs out the window onto a boat. So little things like that I kind of drew from and nodded to.
D Rizzo says, I just put it on my Amazon watch list. I will watch it today. Slashback, Amazon Prime. That's good to hear. Great. And then Solomon Thornton asks or says, greetings, Madam Nyla. What is your favorite horror film? Also, girls get it done.
Totally. These girls are so tough and so sweet. They're and Tessiana in particular is much sweeter than the character of Micah. And favorite horror movie, I mean, I just love The Shining, Psycho, which I just kind of mentioned was a movie that I loved growing up, and the Scream movies I loved. Kind of more contemporary movies. It Follows was something I loved, and obviously Get Out. And sorry, I'm naming a lot, but that's kind of an impossible question, unfair question.
And then last question here, we'll end with this, is Brock Samsonite asks, is this a thinker horror movie like Get Out or Nope, or more of a popcorn type of movie?
No, it's just an alien invasion movie. You don't have to think too much. I just have like written a psychological thriller that is definitely more of like this kind of cerebral movie. And I love those movies. I love Get Out and Nope. And so it's, but this one is not so much.
Great. Well, Nyla, thank you so much for joining us on the Film Threat Livecast here on a Friday. Slashback, to remind everybody, it's in theaters today. If you can see it, see it in a theater. If not, it's on demand and available. Thank you so much.
Just real quick, I think Alamo Draft Houses are carrying it, basically.
Great. Yeah. All right. So good to know. Alamo Draft House. There's an Alamo Draft House in downtown Los Angeles, and you're getting so much love in the chat. Wish we could have you on. For Ken Bogus says Psycho 2 is a great film. If you haven't seen it, see it. Yeah. Awesome.
Thanks.
So thank you for that. Nyla, hope to have you back for your next film, and appreciate you spending time and joining us today.
Thanks so much.
Cool. Take care. Thanks a lot. Later. I was great. She was awesome. The movie is a lot of fun, so highly recommend that you check it out.